Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. It's wonderful that you're here. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on Belinda Carisle. And in that video, we talked about the fact that despite adversity, love has an incredible way of helping us to get through life. And so I trust you enjoyed that one. Well, today we go on to David and Homer, guys from the USA. I suppose we put them in the country rock pop category that between 1976 and 2019 have released 37 albums. They've had 84 singles and 20 of those have gone to number one and 34 music videos. 37 albums is an amazing effort for these two guys. And of course, I'm talking about the Bellamy Brothers. Now, we can't talk about the Bellamy Brothers without talking about the classic song Let Your Love Flow, which came from 1976, which is kind of right back at the start of their career. This song was written by Larry E. Williams, and according to the BMI Awards, this is the 68th most played song in the 20th century. So, as far as music is concerned, this is an iconic song indeed. So we think about some of the words. We think about Let Your Love Flow. We think about candlelight. We think about the season, having the feeling, and all of that sort of stuff. This song is about one thing and one thing only, and that is the wonder and captivation of what it is to be physically intimate with someone. We're talking about sex today. Well and truly, let your love flow like a mountain stream. I mean, well, how many more hints do we need with this particular song to realise that this song is about physical intimacy? Now, I'm not talking about the one night stand stuff, the guy meets the girl and they get it on for a night. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about long-term committed relationships here today, of which sex is a very, very important part of the world indeed. Why is it important? Well, first of all, it feels great, doesn't it? It really feels wonderful to have that feeling of oneness with someone else and all the stuff that goes along with it. It's one of the best things in the world. It really, really is. When there is familiarity, but also wonder and amazingness in all of that sort of stuff. What's also good about it? It goes into places where words leave, because words are not needed in these moments. There is a lot more with physical intimacy that leads to so much more and beyond what words can sometimes say. Because when you're in time with someone else, you don't need those words. Another thing that's important about it, I think, it enables forgiveness, and it enables, because it transcends words, it enables forgiveness and those conversations to happen so much freer. Because if you are in these intimate moments with someone, well, it's very hard to say angry and unforgiving to that person. And so it also enables forgiveness as well. Another thing that it's good for is whisking us away into another world, a world that is just reserved for the two of us, a world that is just ours alone. And particularly in this moment of COVID-19, where there's a lot of stuff happening in this world, to have that place where you can be whisked away to another world is just what the power of physical intimacy can be. So even though we might be faced with COVID-19 during our days, there are these moments where COVID-19 can leave our world for a while. So the place of our own is an incredible thing. In fact, I remember there was a song by Keane called Somewhere Only We Know. And there's something quite beautiful about a world that is just your two and your twos alone. Is a beautiful thing indeed. And it obviously the intention of sex and physical intimacy is for children to be born. That's one of the reasons it exists. And so to have the privilege of being able to see children grow up and to be able to mould and raise them into adults is an incredible experience and privilege to be able to do that indeed. And so, and as far as also, I suppose, the physical aspects of sex, that needs to be there for that reason, but the emotional, psychological, spiritual, all of the things that go into sex, this is such a critical part of any relationship that is committed to each other. And that's what this song is about today. The invitation is not to just sort of go through the motions with this thing. It's to actually let your love flow like a beautiful mountain stream, which has like green and flowers and trees and birds and all sorts of things floating around it. That's the invitation that this song is talking about today. Let your love flow like a mountain stream. I really, really want to be with you. We'll do the candlelight, we'll do the conversation, we'll do all of it. But I really, really want to be with you. It's interesting though, sometimes with the relationships, it can get a bit of a feeling that sometimes, people can hold out on each other with this a little bit. I suppose the question I've got to ask for those of you who are thinking, well, I'm holding out a little bit, why are you doing that? Think about the benefits. I talked about again, forgiveness, pleasure, world of our own, and just how beautiful and wonderful these moments are. Why would we want to hold out on our partner with those particular things? Because it makes absolutely no sense. Because, your partner who'd be wondering, why are you holding out on me like this? What are they going to do? They're going to come and ask for it? Are they going to say, well, no, that doesn't work? And also being able to just sort of say, well, I'm just feeling a bit funny about this at the moment. It's a very difficult conversation to have, because I suppose what comes in this whole intimate relationship, there's elements of trust, elements of, knowing that it will happen easily and naturally and in a way that doesn't feel weird. Actually asking for it and having to talk about it is not the easiest of things to have to do, I'm thinking. It's just not easy at all. So for the person who may be feeling held out on, it's a very difficult conversation to have. And so I think the better way to go about it is to just know that, to make it an important priority part of your relationship. Obviously there's more to life than just sex and physical intimacy, but it has such a big, deep, profound effect on all of that other stuff. It's the difference between walking into your day with a bit of spring in your step, walking in your day feeling, this is the power of sex and physical intimacy, that if you are in a deep, committed relationship, it has to be part of it. It really, really does. And so make it a priority and make it a thing that needs to be there. Because if you're the one that's been holding out and the other person's sort of wondering what's happening a little bit, and you just sort of make a bit of a night, and you think, well, I'm just going to make this a really, really big thing and have a really, really big night of it. Do you think the other person's going to want to engage with you, even though they kind of want to? Well, they're going to hold out a little bit because they're kind of thinking, well, it's all very nice for now, but is this going to be the way going forward, or is it going to go back to sort of not much? And so, if you are going to be committed to this relationship of which sex and physical intimacy is such a big part, well, it's got to be part of the culture of your relationship. And if it is that you've been holding out and you want to make changes in that area, well, you need to lay it all on the line and say, look, I'm really, really sorry. And I'm really going to commit to you in action going forward. Just that once off isn't going to fix it. It needs to be an ongoing, continuous thing. It really, really does. Now you could be thinking, oh, what are you talking about, Trevor, here? You know, you're a bloke, you know, blokes want sex all the time and blah, blah, blah. Well, yes, girls, we do want it all the time. It's what we think about a lot. But we're not thinking about it in terms of just trying to get it on with you. We want everything that girls want. We want the intimacy. We want the conversation. We want all of the stuff. It's just that we think slightly differently about it. It doesn't mean, by the way, that that thinking is wrong either. We need both of the elements. We need the desire and the want, but we also need the conversation and the candlelight and all the other stuff that goes with it. Both of those things are as important as each other. And by the way, when I'm talking, I'm not talking about either or here. I'm just talking about partners in general. I'm not talking about men or women. I'm talking to everybody here today and saying, look, let's not hold out on our partners. Let's be committed in this part of the world because it is just so important. So if this video is, I suppose, touched a nerve today, well, I suppose the action point is to think, well, what can I do to be different? If I have been holding out on my partner, perhaps I could have an opportunity to think differently about it. Because we all make assumptions about life and about how things need to be. Sometimes those assumptions aren't right, and we need to be thinking slightly differently about it. Because the last thing sex needs to be, last thing it needs to be is awkward and hard. It should be easy and fun and beautiful. This is the power and wonder of sex. It brings in forgiveness, it brings in world of our own, all of the other stuff that I mentioned. So I trust that that will be an encouragement for you today. And again, as I say, I'm not talking to one particular sex here. I'm talking to everybody who is in a long-term relationship with a male or female or whatever it is. If you're holding out on your partner, think really seriously about that and see if you can make some changes, because your relationship will only benefit through that. Well, on to the clips today. And, you know, David and Homer have been singing this song since 1976. And so we're talking, what are we talking, 34, 54 years. It's a long time to be singing the 68th most played song in the 20th century. And obviously, whenever they're going to sing this song, the crowd's really going to get into it because it's a song that they are hanging out to hear. Because this is the signature tune of the Bellamy Brothers indeed. So I thought I'd get a couple of versions of this song, and the links, by the way, are in the description below, so feel free to look at them. We've got 1976, where it all started, a version from them, and it's just great to see them in the younger days. And then I've also gone for a clip which is much later, and you can still see that this song has still got the appeal it's got from when it started. This is probably one of those songs that will go into the timeless category, I'm thinking. Good on Larry Williams writing such an amazing song that has been brought to life by David and Homer Bellamy. So I trust you will enjoy both of those versions of this song. And by the way, I've also included a link to my last video on Belinda Carisle too. So if you want to look at that one, feel free. Well, that's it for today. If you do like this video, please give it the thumbs up, and I'd love you to subscribe. If you have come back for another video and I've hung around to the end of what's been a bit of an interesting video today, thank you very much. I do appreciate your engagement very much indeed. So feel free to make a comment or a thumbs up, or if you'd like me to look at a song in particular, feel free to put it in the comments and I'll certainly have a look at it. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to go on to the band Berlin. Of course, one of their famous songs is Take My Breath Away, and also another song Like Flames. So until then, I'll catch you around.